Took all the fight out of the leg. Boom, boom, boom.
I guess the money should have changed them. I guess I should have forget where I came from.
How are you going to say number 2 for prior league? So you say his, Bush?
Yeah.
You know what I was going to consider before? I was going to go deeper. That's what I was going to go deeper. What was it, you like? Well, that's why I asked if you would with that pronunciation. He said, I said, do it for the coach. He goes, no. Alright. So he's the coach coaching in the section. I don't think he really
Alright, hey, you tried, that's all I can.
Are we live so I can start whenever?
Yeah, let me,
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Coolman Field, home of Edina Lacrosse, and tonight's section championship game. The visiting Prior Lake Lakers and the Edina Lions. First, let's meet the starters.
Welcome to Coolman Field here in Edina. It's the boys Section 6 section championship. Number 1 seed Edina and number 2 seed Prior Lake. My name is Josh Powers. Great to be here. Second part of our doubleheader in the Edina Prior Lake evening. But Prior Lake won the first matchup. On the girls' side is the number 2 seed Lakers upset number 1 seed Edina 11-6. So Edina will look for a measure of revenge here on the boys' side. Let's take a look at how these teams got here. In Section 6, Edina the top seed all over Holy Angels in the quarterfinal 17-5. A little bit tougher time with the Rosemount, but still a 5-goal margin, 8-3 in the semifinals to get here. Prior Lake, a much tougher road as they got by Eastview in the 2-7 matchup, 10-7. And then another 3-goal win over Jefferson, the number 3 seed, 9-6 to get to this section championship. Edina 13-2 on the year. Prior Lake 12-3, and that one-game difference was the game between the two teams. Game played back on April 24th, the third game of the season for both teams. Edina won it in a close one, 10-9. That's the reason they're the top seed here in this section. Otherwise, you'd think Prior Lake would get that top seed. The records would be reversed. So, much like the girls' game, should be very close, closely contested. At least it was for the majority of the girls' game. Prior Lake pulling away late in that one. Terrific performance by them. But we focus now on the boys' side. Let's not forget Prior Lake has won 3 out of the last 4 boys' state tournaments. Edina looking for its first ever state tournament championship. A tournament dating back to 2007, the first year. It's a Minnesota State High School League sanctioned sport. Edina in the white with the green trim. Prior Lake in the gray, those combat gray jerseys with the gold and black trim. Weather-wise, a little bit better than a couple hours ago. Temperatures reached as high as 99 here in the metro earlier this afternoon. You can see the shadows have come over Coolman Stadium here. The sun is facing to our west, so it is ducked below most of the stadium. That's going to provide the boys out here with some nice, still pretty warm outside, but a little bit more of a break than we had in the girls' game in terms of they get to play with the shade pretty much all game. Not a lot of wind either, so shouldn't affect either team or long passes very much at all in this one. With the goal still, the temperature still in the 90s. Stay hydrated as best as you can. Both teams have tents down there, as we saw in the girls' game as well, in an effort to try to stay as cool as possible on a night like tonight. Certainly a little bit cooler here in the press box than we had a couple hours ago for the girls' game, so we're thankful for that. These teams know each other well. The winner will have a great chance at next week's state tournament. They'll be one of the favorites for sure. Benilde St. Margaret's might have something to say about that, but just to get there, a great accomplishment for both these teams who've had terrific seasons to be where they are right now. Some key players in this one offensively for Edina. Their leading scorer, Drew Hatch, number 29. He's a senior. He's a co-captain. 35 goals, by far the most on the team. Max Nelson is second with 19. On the other side for Prior Lake, Justin Simonson, about equal to Hatch. 33 goals, also 25 assists, which is by far most on the team. He wears number 5 in gray as we are underway here in Edina. As you can tell by the backdrop, a lot of green and white here at Kuhlman Stadium. Ground ball forced, it bounces right over to Drew Hatch. We'll start things for the Hornets. Just 2 losses on the year. One of those was to Benilde St. Margaret's, the other to Jefferson in the regular season, a team that Prior Lake beat in the semis. There's Max Nelson, 24. Mentioned he's second on the team in goals. Back to Hatch, left-handed shot. Misses wide. Prior Lake goaltender, 52, Ryan Vitters. 8-3 record this year, Vitters. He's a junior. Here's an errant pass. Ground ball chance for Prior Lake. Simonson on the quick restart. Their leading goal scorer. He's only a junior, number 5 in gray. Ben Mickett, second on the team, 23 goals. Mickett wears number 15. Edina goaltender is number 5, Sawyer Anderson. He's a senior. Anderson has played almost every minute this year for the Hornets back at goal. 4 12-minute quarters here in boys lacrosse. A little bit different than the halves for the girls. A little bit more contact allowed. Here's an open space for the long stick. Trying for a long stick goal was Brian Post. Denied with the save there by Vitters. Post had yet to score a goal this year. That would be certainly an unusual way to start with a long stick goal. More conventional attack. That one batted out of midair, but missing wide. Nelson with the original chance. Edina chases it down in the corner, 2 minutes in. Officials timeout. I think we've got some equipment back behind the Prior Lake net, and it was a mouth guard, so they're going to go ahead and whistle it dead. Edina keeps possession. This is Charlie Brinkman. Number 1, Channing Schmidt. Hornets rotating it around the perimeter. So far, it looks like they want Hatch at the top of the zone to attack. This is Brinkman this time. He'll give way to Nelson. Nelson on the dodge. Long shot. Getting a piece of it, Vitters. He's been active early as this one rolls out of play. It'll stay with Edina. And then that's the right call. That was ruled as a shot, and no one touched it. Hatch working on the long stick, Levine. Ground ball forced. Nelson had first chance at it. Hatch will pick it up. Here's Brinkman. Thought about a shot. Good defense. Prior Lake so far. Their defense was certainly the difference in the girls' game, especially in that second half. limiting Edina to just 1 goal. Nelson, long distance shot, misses wide. They'll keep it. That's why you don't mind shots in lacrosse. You can try to pick corners. Rebounds don't get away from you. 9 times out of 10, rebounds stay with you in terms of possession. Here's a chance out front. A lot of contact, missing it wide. Johnny DeVoe, number 27 in white. Again, the Hornets keep it. Hatch winds, fires, save Vitters. So far, Edina's dominated possession in the first 4 minutes. Here's a chance for Prior Lake to get its first shot on goal. Joe Carnevale, 39 in gray. Playing catch with Dalton Spratt. For is Eric Dufert. Getting some errant equipment. Looks like another mouth guard. Dufert will go ahead and pick it up as they stop play again. Similar to the girls' game, slower start offensively for both these teams. Playing it close to the vest here early. Dufert out high, shot taken, and a save on the other end. Sawyer Anderson. Both goaltenders making a difference early. Long pass, again, not a lot of wind. Caught by Edina. Tyler Davis, number 19. And an early timeout taken by Edina. Their head coach, Andy Lee. Assistant coaches, Franny Madden and Derek Lloyd. On their side for Prior Lake, their head coach, Casey Mithun. Assistant coaches, Kyle Klossner, Sam Kepner. At least according to our programs. Given to us here by the Minnesota State High School League Section 6 Championship. Edina and Prior Lake, 1 versus 2. 2 terrific teams. Only 1 spot in the state tournament next week. Prior Lake has won 3 out of the last 4 boys' state tournaments. They've really developed a dynasty. Edina would like nothing else than to see that come to an end here tonight on their home field. Three losses, for Prior Lake in the regular season. Also lost to Benilde St. Margaret's. In addition to Edina, the other loss was to Chanhassen by 1 goal. Good squad in the Metro West, along with the likes of Benilde and Jefferson in that district. Edina, winners of the Lake this year with a 6-0 record, 1 game better than Minnetonka. So after the restart, we're back to play, and a mistake by Edina will give it back to Prior Lake on an errant pass. Could not be received by Channing Schmidt, number 1 in white, a senior. Prior Lake runs it into the offensive zone nearly midway through this first quarter. Still scoreless from Coolman Stadium in Edina. Simonson trying to get things going offensively. 33 goals so far on his year, including the postseason. Dufert trying to sneak around that defender on the wing. Ground ball available and kicked ahead. That's perfectly legal in lacrosse. and a heads-up play by Edina as co-captain Gage Reiners ahead and getting a piece of that Vitters. He has played well early. As Ryan Vitters, that was a difficult shot to defend on the fast break. There's another shot. Looked like Hatch that time firing the lefty. Misses wide, but again, Edina keeps doing a nice job controlling things on the offensive end so far, getting some pretty good looks. There's a mistake, though, as this will bounce toward the sideline. And the ground ball batted ahead by Prior Lake, but not controlled yet. Into the long stick of Davis. That pass, Karam's away. Nice pickup, though. Cole Brazel. Brazel shot! Saved by Vitters, but before that a whistle. And a violation on Edina, negating that shot. Possession Prior Lake. And a crease violation on Vitters. We'll go back to the Hornets. A little choppy here midway through the first quarter. Graydon Simpson looking to dodge to his left. So far, Prior Lake playing man-to-man. They converge around Vitters. The Karam's aside. Shot, score, the first goal of the game, Johnny DeVoe. Amid that scramble, just took it quickly, really before Prior Lake could get things set up. Got to a pretty good shooting pocket. DeVoe gets Edina out to the early lead. DeVoe's 16th goal of the year. He leads the team, by the way, DeVoe, with 27 assists, so keep an eye out for that. That time, no need to drop that off to a teammate. Found a pretty good path for a high-quality shot and took advantage of it. So our second face-off, so important in lacrosse. Charlie Gustafson, main man for Edina. Was able to win that one initially. Now a ground ball up for grabs. Picked up by Reiners. Then back to the field. And it's Gustafson emerging finally, but a whistle. It'll go back to Prior Lake. Those ground balls, so critical. A lot of times players know how important it is. You'll see fouls in there, in those scrums. Behind the net, number 2, Cooper Bush. He's another junior, strong junior class for Prior Lake. Simonson. Pass out high, deflected. Ground ball will careen toward the sideline and out of play. It'll go to Edina. And we have our first of our designated water breaks here tonight with the temperatures still in the 90s. 3:46 remaining in the first quarter. According to my iPhone, still 93 degrees here in Edina. Just 37% humidity, so that's really the saving grace here. If this was August instead of June, it's probably a different story. The players would be really tugging on their shorts. This water break still needed with the hot temperatures, even though we are in the shade now and starting to get under the lights here at Kuhlman Stadium in Edina. Hornets with the early lead. You get another designated water break in the second half as well. We had a couple of them in the girls' game as well. Plus 2 timeouts per half for each side. So We have a flag. We have a flag hoisted high in the air by the official right at midfield. And this is going to be some sort of a penalty against Prior Lake, it would appear, by the reaction of head coach Casey Mithune. A conduct penalty. Not entirely certain for what, but it will send Edina on our first man up of the game. It's on, according to the public address announcer here, who was getting a radio word of what that call was, bench conduct penalty on Prior Lake. So man up for Edina. Chance to go up by a pair. That one fired wide, and look at Miss Vitters winning that race. Heads up play by the goaltender Ryan Vitters, and you'll a lot of times see that on a man up. Teams will forego that player behind the net, and Vitters saw that formation there. Was able to win it back. So Prior Lake with possession, but down a player and down a goal. Just over 3 minutes left here, first quarter. They'll try to hold on to it as long as they can. Now they get that player back. It was just a 1 minute penalty. So back on to play Jack Smith, who was serving the penalty. Simonson finds Bush. Bush shot. Misses wide. Prior Lake keeps it. Good offense there from Simonson. He saw where the defense was moving, and it was toward him. Simonson led Prior Lake with 33 goals so far this year. Make it 34. Justin Simonson spun away to his left. That created the necessary room. So Edina scores first. Prior Lake counters. And a 1-1 game with 2:26 left in the first quarter. Be interesting to see if they continue to use Simonson more behind the net. Prior Lake seems to be working for some opportunities so far. Nice face-off win, though. Gustafson. Ground ball forced, though, by Simonson. Or correction, that's number 6, Parker Hill. Ground ball still loose. DeVoe kicking at it. Scooped up by Reiners. And nicely gets to open space, drops it off to Hatch. He'll head back out. His job is done on that sequence. DeVoe behind the net finds Schmidt. 23 is Owen Swenson for the Hornets. Nelson draws a double team, lost control. Ground ball, Prior Lake. Under 90 to go, first quarter. Still plenty of time for the Lakers now, especially if they heave it that far in every pass. It's collected near midfield. Again, not a lot of wind here tonight, so those long passes are going to be a bit easier than you would see on some nights with a heavy breeze. And no sun a factor now as it's completely behind the stadium. A lot of times the games at 4 o'clock having to deal with the sun too. Sometimes looking straight at it at times during a game. Simonson checks the clock, sees under 50 seconds to go. Wants to dodge left. Tripped up, got rid of it in front! What a pass and a goal for Prior Lake! On a bounce, Joe Carnevale. He was headed to the right spot. Simonson saw him out of the corner of his eye as he was being tripped up to the ground. A good defensive play by the Hornets, but better offense. So the Lakers with the lead. And apologies there, it was 19, not 39, so Luthner gets the goal. 13th of the year for Sam Luthner, so a 2-1 Prior Lake lead. It's Gustafson, though, ahead. That one didn't miss by much. Not out of place. You saw goaltender Vitters scamper back to the net. He was trying to win the race for a restart possession, but it never got out of play. Prior Lake has it back anyway. 20 seconds to go. This is Carnevale now on the dodge to his right. Behind the net pass, save made, and a terrific one by Anderson. That'll end the first quarter. And a good first quarter. Edina had the nice start. Got the early lead Prior Lake, though, countering the last half of the quarter. As they score the next two. They lead it 2-1 after the first dozen minutes here at Coolman Stadium. Number 1 Edina and number 2 Prior Lake. Josh Powers with you tonight. Glad to be here. Just off Highway 100 in Edina. Section championship up for grabs here in Section 6. The two teams that most expected to get here have. It hasn't been always easy for both. It's a difficult section when you go down 4-seed Rosemount, a good opponent. Burnsville had a pretty strong year. Even Eastview, that was a tough out in the 2-7 matchup, and Jefferson almost lost in the 3-6. They had to go into overtime to beat Kennedy. So difficult section to navigate, but at the end of the day, it's the top two teams that have advanced here. The winner will be one of the couple of favorites next week at the state tournament, as are now the Prior Lake girls. They were victorious earlier, 11-6. They were down 3 in the first half, but at one point trailing 5-2. It was all Prior Lake after that, holding Edina to just one goal. Really the last 40 minutes of that game, it was such an impressive showing on the girls' side for Prior Lake. The boys trying to duplicate that feat, and they know all about state championships. They've won 3 out of the last 4. So we'll see if that experience, and yes, we talked about it in the girls' game, there was no state tournament a year ago, but there's still some experience winning state titles on this team. That seemed to come to the forefront in the girls' matchup in the second half. Prior Lake made less mistakes, certainly, in that game. So second quarter about to get underway. Teams will switch sides here for this next 12 minutes. Second period underway. Gustafson with another face-off win. That'll be certainly something to watch. Able to win that one again against Parker Hill. Taking that face-off with the longer stick. Nelson sends it over to Schmidt on the wing. Now Brinkman out, rotating in offensively. First possession of this second quarter for Edina. Trailing 2-1. Hatch sends it behind the net. DeVoe, who has Edina's only goal. Nelson wants to dodge. Has space and scores! Max Nelson evens it at 2 goals apiece for Edina. 20th goal of the year for Nelson. Good number to get to for your senior year. Nelson's done that with the goal right there. We talked about the Prior Lake experience. They have a strong junior class, but Edina haven't won a state tournament yet, but this is a tremendous senior class. Look at starters. You got your goaltender Sawyer, Gustafson, your face-off guy Reiners, the long stick midi. Seen Schmidt out there offensively. He's another senior. Then you've got Nelson, DeVoe, and Hatch. Heavy senior lineup for Edina. That shot by Gustafson misses wide. Nelson is there to keep possession. Brinkman, he's going right. Sees a second defender. Pivots back. They rotate it around. Good recovery by Prior Lake. Action a lot like basketball. You get that second defender. Where is he going to go? And then you try to play off of that. That time you saw Prior Lake rotating over quickly. Brinkman lost control. Didn't see it for a second. Has the ground ball. Heads behind the net. Difficult catch, but getting it done was DeVoe. Hatch fires. It misses wide. Clock stops, by the way, with each whistle here in the boys' game. Clock operators a little bit more on their toes here with this format. Prior Lake trying to get after this ground ball. And they have it, at least initially, then it's force free. Lakers have it again in offensive territory now. Looking for a fast break shot, and they find it, and a goal. It's Luthner again, taking advantage on the break. Prior Lake numbers a little bit more difficult to see here, especially as we get later here under the lights. And so there we go. It's Dalton Spratt, 18 instead of 19. So my apologies there. Spratt with his 19th of the season. So a 3-2 Prior Lake lead again by 1. Meanwhile, Gustafson's been doing well on faceoffs. That's another win for Edina. Off the bench, smelling that one out though, Prior Lake. They were trying to feed Nelson. Lakers saw what was happening. Maybe another fast break opportunity. This time slowing it up is Simonson. Jack Smith behind the net. Simonson, 8.5 minutes, or correction, that's Bush, 8.5 minutes left, second quarter. Carnevale throws it around. Here's Simonson. Dodge, shot. Misses wide. Edina might be closest. You know, they say Prior Lake. That was close. Good hustle by both teams, including the goaltender Anderson. Simonson flips it over. Carnevale. Back to his right, has space. That one misses, though. Good pivot. That time by Carnevale. Prior Lake a chance to go up by 2. Edina had the early lead. Finds a better chance, but Bush misses. Those shots from 20, 25 yards out, or at least from the 20, 25-yard line, I should say. It's the goal positioned at the 10. A lot of times that'll result in a save. Good dodge here. Smith. Looks like getting a piece of it there was Anderson. You get a timeout, Prior Lake. They also have one timeout left, as does Edina here in the back half of the second quarter. Prior Lake leading 3-2. Neither team is led by more than a goal so far, and we're almost midway through the second quarter already. Section plaque and medals will be awarded after the conclusion of this game, so stick around for that. Great crowd here. We had a big crowd for the girls' game and equally as many here on the boys' side. And one thing, even with games that went on last fall or even in the winter, and now it's transitioned into the spring, what we did not see, we saw a smattering of fans here and there. We haven't seen the big crowds, and we haven't seen student sections in a while, and now we're starting to see those pop up. I see a big mass of Edina students over to my left here. And on the other side, a big population of it. They look that age, student age, over there for Prior Lake. Good to see a bunch of people out gathering together to cheer on their friends and loved ones, an important contest, at least sports-wise. And a good energy to that girls' game, too. You can tell Prior Lake really fed off that crowd that was involved in that second half. Going on a big run. So still Prior Lake possession, leading by a goal. We'll see what the plan of attack is following the timeout. Here's Spratt. Edina slides over, Spratt drops it down low. Smith thought about a bad angle shot, backs it out. Patient offense here for Prior Lake. It's possession almost 2 minutes. Bush again drops it down low. There's the shot. Hits the side of the net, picked up by Anderson. I think it's a win if you're Edina. Obviously, you got the stop, but you forced a shot from not the greatest of angle. At the end of the day, the shot ends up off the side of the net. As running it into the offensive zone, Brennan Wurst crosses that line and backs it out. Behind the net, DeVoe. Pass tipped away. Another good defensive play by Prior Lake, and then maybe a mistake, although this looks like it'll stay in. Lakers scoop it up, and then that pass ricochets off Edina out of play, meaning Prior Lake controls still. They get it to Vitters. Long run for Carnevale. Lost control, gathers, and withstands some more contact. Spratt, that caroms off a face mask of Edina. And a ground ball pickup. Andrew Baumgartner. In a little bit of unfamiliar territory, wants some comfort. Is able to find that in co-captain Drew Hatch. One of three captains along with goaltender Anderson and Gage Reiners. So far you like the contest if you're a Prior Lake fan defensively. Here's Hatch. Finds some space for the lefty. Centering pass, tipped. Floats to goaltender Vetters. Edina getting back here, preventing the fast break, but under 4 minutes left before halftime. Lakers still by a goal. That was not a good decision. Scooped right up by Brian Post. And that one, he threw open his receiver that time. Fast break chance at an Edina goal. Quinn Peterson. Well, Post started it with that terrific play. And whether that pass was a little bit long by design or not, it certainly worked out for the Hornets. Peterson all alone in front. Not much Vitters can do about that. Peterson now with 14 goals on the year. And Edina back to a 3-3 game. We've been tied at 1, tied at 2, and now tied at 3. There's a little bit of an unforced error there if you're Prior Lake. You had possession. And careless passes, even ones in your own end, can turn back around on you very quickly, and Edina showed it right there on that fast break. Speaking of break, this is our second quarter mandated water break. We'll have one each quarter. The first whistle under 4 minutes apparently is the timing. Again, nice to be out away from the sunlight. This stadium now fully under the shadow of the sun behind us to the west. We'll be under the full lights here not before too long here at Coolman Stadium, probably by the time the second half starts. As we near the 9 o'clock hour here local time. Glad you're with us tonight for this second half of our Edina Prior Lake doubleheader. It's not set up that way. It just happened that both teams on both boys and girls side advanced to the section championship. Deservedly so for what we've seen so far this evening. Prior Lake won the girls game earlier, 11-6. We're 3-3 here late in the first half. Right now, certainly from the play here in the first half, Gustafson seems to have a significant advantage in face-offs for Edina, and that could be something that they could exploit the rest of this game. And he wins another one. Forgot the ball. Got him from behind. Here's goaltender Anderson. They're allowed to do that. They have free range of where they want to go. He needs to be careful, though, as there's no goalie behind him. Gave up a ground ball. Post was there to help out, as Peterson had to kind of abandon ship on that thought of getting upfield. And amid that, I believe we had an Edina timeout. They wanted to make sure they kept possession and avoided absolute disaster there with Anderson away from the net. So Edina out of timeouts here in this first half. 96 seconds remaining here in the half. Prior Lake still with 2 timeouts left if they so choose. They maybe get an offensive possession. You might see one late. Goal would be big here at the end of the half. We certainly saw that in the girls' game. The Lakers were trailing by 3, scored with 12 seconds left in the half, and that got them to within 2, and they would go on to win. Terrific season certainly for both these teams regardless of how that plays out, and did not mention that at the end of the girls' game, but what a season for the Edina girls. It's a sour note to the end of their year, but 14-1 record. Nothing to be disappointed in terms of the effort all year. So Edina will have it, minute 36 left. About that time, if you're a player down there, every few seconds, if you have a moment, you might glance over your shoulder to see how much time's left. DeVoe gets it up ahead. Pass, another one, tipped. Prior Lake really in the passing lanes. Talked about that contest earlier. We've seen that a number of occasions. So now they get it back, approaching a minute to play. About as even of a first half as you could watch here between these teams. There has really not been a distinct advantage outside of face-offs. Give the edge there to Edina, but really the rest of the game, it has been pretty even. Prior Lake maybe with the time of possession lead a little bit, but Hornets have capitalized on the fast break as well. Here's a chance in front, off the post. So it ricochets back out. Good passing here on this sequence by Prior Lake. So it's forced out front. Hornets really collapsing in front of the net. There's a great dodge. Carnevale shot. And a save by Anderson. Under 10, so he's just going to fling it as far as he can. Not really going to hurt the Hornets there. Really nothing to lose. There's only 3.6 seconds left. Pass certainly that Anderson normally in normal circumstances would not make. There's a long heave. Remember, it just has to be out of the stick before time expires to have it count, but that's a moot point with that shot being off target. And the first half comes to an end. It's the lead ping-pong back and forth, but after 24 minutes, these teams tied up at 3. Number 1 seed Edina, number 2 seed Prior Lake. We will break for halftime. And that second half will start in about 10 minutes. Stick around. You're watching the Section 6 championship here at Coolman Field in Edina. seconds in, and Edina's already ricocheted one off the crossbar on a fast break right off the face-off. So Prior Lake dodging a bullet. We're tied 3-3. Early here, third quarter. Josh Powers with you. Glad to be here. The Section 6 championship, top-seeded Edina, number 2 Prior Lake. These teams met in the regular season with Edina winning by 1, and this has all the feel of another one-goal game one way or the other. First shot for Prior Lake of the half. Misses wide. Taken there by Eric Dufert. Earlier tonight, Prior Lake girls beat Edina to win that Section 6 championship. Congratulations to the Prior Lake girls, off to defend their 2019 state title. Last time Lacrosse awarded a state championship. Prior Lake's won 3 out of the last 4 boys state titles, including 2019. Edina yet to win a state championship. They'd love to get a chance at it next week. Here's an errant pass and a ground ball. Who will emerge? This one goes to the Hornets off of a Prior Lake foul. Gage Reiners was in there battling with the long stick as the Hornets send it ahead. Quick chance for Nelson. He scores! Max Nelson scored the first goal for Edina way back in the first quarter. That gave the Hornets the lead for the first time. This one gives them the lead for the second time at 4-3. Neither team has led by more than a goal so far in this one. It'll be important. Likely going to happen at some point that a team gets a multiple goal lead. Be an important response at that time. Not there yet, but the way these faceoffs have been trending Edina's way, they could gather momentum in this one. Gustafson wins another one. He is a face-off magician for the Hornets. Caught there by Brinkman. Good start to this half for Edina. Hit the post in the first 10 seconds and scored on their second possession. On the dodge, Brinkman sees the second defender, backs out. Prior Lake coming on the slide right there. Interesting now, DeVoe. They've inverted him back out high. A long distance shot. Low percentage shot when you've got Ryan Vitters back there. He corrals that save. See Vitters exploring a little bit. Not quite as risky as we saw Anderson get back in the first half. Chance to tie here for Prior Lake. Those numbers black on gray are getting a lot trickier to see here under the lights. We'll do our best in the second half. So apologies if we mistake an 18 for a 19. This is Smith. Cooper Bush maybe setting up a dodge from behind the net. There he goes. Sends it back. Carnevale gets it around to the wing. Shot saved by Anderson. Sawyer Anderson. Stolen by the Lakers. See if they can get a fast break chance out of it. Edina gets it back. Great defense. Hustling back there was number 20 in white, Cole Brazel, sophomore. Legal body check here on Edina, and it'll be a man up. We have not had many man up situations in this game. Prior Lake gets one here. Teams have been pretty penalty-free in this one. Edina's man up came on a unsportsmanlike bench penalty to Prior Lake, so this is a 1 minute man up for Prior Lake, a chance to equalize. Edina failed to score on its man up in the first half. This is the first of the game for the Lakers. Like the crisp movement here for Prior Lake. See if it results in a shot. Edina in that zone that you typically see on a man down. From the wing, shot partially deflected. Good defense. Edina was able to get two players to affect that shot. That's tough to do when you're man down. Here's another risky play by Anderson. He has to retreat. Back to net. Fast break chance, Prior Lake. They can't execute. Sawyer Anderson, some nervous seconds certainly for him back there. There's another bad pass. Edina fortunate to keep possession. Fast moving third quarter. We're nearly midway through it. So far, Edina the only goal of the second half. They lead 4-3. We'll have our required water break here in about 2.5 minutes. On the dodge, Brinkman. Sends it back to Hatch. Pretty quiet night for Hatch. Nice save by Vitters. Really good pass by the Hornets to set that up. They got Schmidt in a pretty good shooting pocket, but Vitters was up to the challenge. And now midway through the quarter, Prior Lake sets it up. Edina man down is over, so they're back at full strength. Simonson couldn't get it off clean enough. Again, Sawyer Anderson there. Much more lower scoring game than these teams are used to. We certainly saw that in the girls' side as well. Another careless Edina pass. Fast break chance possibly for Prior Lake. Finally a flag. If you're a Prior Lake fan, they were hounding for a penalty. There will go man up. Certainly looked like a lot of contact. Should just be a 1 minute variety penalty. A slashing call here on Edina. It's on Gage Reiners. This, I believe, is the water break timeout. So temperature still in the 90s. I want to make sure all the players down there are hydrated. It's a long game, a lot of time running around in 90-plus degree heat, especially on the boys' side. You got some added equipment, helmets. You get hot under there in a hurry. So 5:21 remaining third quarter. Edina is the only goal of this half. 4-3 they lead. In a game that figures to come down to the wire, although we said that in the girls' game about this time. And in that contest, and Prior Lake pulled away. They scored the last 7 goals to win 11-6. So man up coming up for Prior Lake. game without a man up, and then all of a sudden 2 here in the last couple of minutes. So Luthner will get it started. Reiner serving that slashing penalty. Last man up, really, Edina did a nice job rotating over to effect a shot with 2 players. Prior Lake working it around the perimeter again. In front, great pass, better save by Anderson. Again, these Prior Lake numbers are very difficult to see here at night. We'll do our best, but could not tell who that player was in front. Apologies for that, but hopefully that comes across as you're watching us. Anderson, a terrific save, and look at, he's way out of the net there. Again, he's doing that on the man down, making it even, so to speak, as now the man up is over. Edina's got to focus in on their passing here. They have been a little bit loose. That could come back to haunt them later, but right now you've got Anderson making some terrific saves. They've withstood 2-man-up situations. Now a chance to go up 2. Here's Brinkman. Gets to his left, not willing to shoot from that angle. Drops it back. Here's a shot. Vitters! Couldn't get enough of it. Channing Schmidt scores. We saw him come off of a curl the last possession. Vitters made the save this time. Schmidt was able to bounce it a little bit more in front. Channing Schmidt with his 12th goal of the year. And Edina, for the first time in this game for either team, leads by 2. So far, Edina's defense has been the story. Getting late here in the 3rd quarter. Gustafson wins another draw. Such an advantage. Gustafson still with it. Sees DeVoe is covered. Gustafson wants to shoot. Vitters a save, rebound, score! Channing Schmidt picks up the loose change in front. Edina all of a sudden by 3. Correction, they're going to give that goal to Gage Reiners, co-captain. 10th of the year. What a quarter for Edina. They entered the quarter tied at 3, now lead by 3. And another Gustafson face-off win. Prior Lake may have one face-off win tonight. That's about it. Such a weapon, Gustafson. Prior Lake will get it back, now in need of a goal. Carnevale rolls it out to Luthner. Quiet second half for Simonson for Prior Lake. Here's a shot. That one misses. Good bounce attempt. I believe that was Carnevale. Quick restart. Prior Lake trying to catch Edina off guard. They recover. Under 2.5 left here in this third quarter. Luthner trying to set up a run. Some off-ball action perhaps as he spins back left. Drops it to the wing for a shot. And a save by Anderson. Sawyer Anderson really has done the job so far in net for Edina. Under 2 to go here in the quarter. Edina would love to tack on one more. Great catch there. To avoid another errant pass. That time it was Hatch. Simpson looking for a dodge with 90 to go. Hatch to the wing. They pass up the shot actually because the ball was fumbled. And a ground ball is whistled dead. We have a hold on Prior Lake. So Edina possession. Simpson again gets to that left. Poked free. Ground ball, Lakers. Could be a momentum changer. Fast break opportunity. Quick shot, score! Exactly what the Lakers needed late here in the third quarter. A turnover leads to a goal. And it's Jack Smith, the beneficiary of that goal for Prior Lake, his 15th. Cooper Bush gets the assist, so much needed for Prior Lake. Deficit entering the fourth, which it's likely to be, got a little less challenging. And now a face-off infraction on Edina. A rare chance for Prior Lake off the draw. Another chance. That shot partially deflected, took all the steam off of it, then thrown away by Edina. Lakers in again. Then Smith couldn't handle that pass. Trying to recover it and does. Still 33 seconds, plenty of time. Big opportunity right now for Prior Lake to close out this third quarter. Simonson on the dodge, scores! What a last couple of minutes for Prior Lake. Down by 3, Edina was controlling possession. And how this game has changed in the last 60 seconds. First it was Smith, now Simonson. Just like that, 6-5. Another win for Gustafson. They need to hurry though, 15 seconds. Gustafson hit from behind. And a penalty coming with 4.7 seconds remaining. I believe this is a cross-checking penalty. Edina will go man up. They will likely, I believe, just hold on to this, will not attempt a shot in the final 4 seconds so that they can start with possession and avoid a face-off. Soder the penalty, and as I expected, Edina just hangs on to it here. They will start with possession, fourth quarter, on the man up. So great start to the third quarter if you're Edina. You score the first 3 goals of the quarter. But big last minute for Prior Lake. They scored 2 more times, although they did commit that penalty right at the end of the third. But 6-5 our score. So we head to the final 12 minutes. It looks like we're headed for some drama here late into the night in Edina. Thanks for staying with us, spending some of your Thursday evening here. Great night of lacrosse here in Edina. 2 section champions awarded, 1 already in the books. Prior Lake girls defeated Edina 11-6 with a terrific second half, outscoring Edina in the half 8-1. They'll try to repeat. They were the most recent champs in 2019, as was the boys. They're trying to do the same. They've won 3 out of the last 4 state tournaments. But trailing by 1 with 12 minutes left and facing man down. Smart of Edina, too, to just hang on to that the last 4 seconds. No need to risk possession. Even though they've been so dominant in faceoffs, you just don't want to leave it up to that. State tournament next week as we wind down the spring academic year. Section tournaments going on this week. And a lot of the spring sports, baseball, softball, lacrosse. Kind of a weird time of year where basically now school's out, yet you still have some of these games going on. It just has to be that way, this part of the country, where it's can't start that spring sports season early enough to avoid it leaking into the summer. So again, no face-off here. Edina had possession at the end of the third quarter with the man up. So they start the fourth quarter. Great crowd here in Edina. They're about to witness a hotly contested fourth quarter for sure between these 2 teams, both deserving of the state tournament. Only one can get there. Edina 13-2 in the regular season. Prior Lake 12-3. Here's Hatch. Thought about it. DeVoe. Hatch drops it to the wing. I want to wait too long if you're Edina. It's only 1 minute man up. Peterson. Hatch! Misses wide. And Prior Lake will get possession here. There must have been a violation, because Edina certainly was closest to that. Risky pass here by the Lakers. Ground ball. Prior Lake man down for 12 more seconds. Timeout Edina. They got possession. Andy Lee quickly called the timeout. We'll try to set up something here in the last 12 seconds of the man up to try to take advantage and stretch that lead back out to 2. Prior Lake has yet to lead this second half. Edina has led by as many as 3. Possession so critical in these fourth quarters. Much more lower scoring game than these teams are used to. Edina's season low for goals is 5. That came in that 6-5 regular season loss to Jefferson. And you've surpassed that number, but most times this year Edina's been into double digits. One timeout left now for Edina, 2 for Prior Lake. We also will have the fourth quarter water break, officials timeout, which will happen around the midway point. Should see Edina work this pretty quickly, knowing that the man up is about to expire. It's DeVoe. Seen him work a lot back behind the net. Pass trying to get out front. It was stolen by Prior Lake. Now the man up over. Prior Lake back to full strength, trying to get it back to level with the goal. Luthner trots on. Edina really pressing out high here defensively. You don't know how many more possessions you're going to get in a game like this. It's been, fast breaks have been few and far between. Each possession important here in the fourth quarter. Really solid there from Edina. Mickett thought about dodging left. He'll back up. A minute already on this possession. That's why you don't know how many more you're going to get. It's a good chunk of this fourth quarter clock already gone by. Timeout Prior Lake to save the possession. It was getting dicey up there, so they're left with just one timeout. And that's how important these possessions are in the fourth quarter. It's almost treated like an end of a basketball game. You're going possession by possession here in this one-goal contest. Tied 3-3 at the half. Edina scored 3 to start the second half. Prior Lake has scored the last 2. This is where big players, big moments, and big goals happen here late in a tight contest. These teams not all that used to close games. Certainly they played a close game when they faced each other. It was a one-goal win for Edina. They also beat Blake by 1, but other than that, most of their games have been of more of the one-sided variety. I'd say the same for Prior Lake, although they have one extra loss. Then the Hornets, they'll have possession. Under 10 to go. Some nervous parents and loved ones in the stands below us here certainly. Looks like Simonson on the dodge from behind the net. Sends it out high. Mickett to the wing. Not a lot of mistakes defensively for Edina. They've been pretty solid. Mickett wants to dodge from behind the net. Not available. Meanwhile, about another minute has gone by since the timeout. Shot from the wing. Misses wide. Should be Prior Lake possession and is. Good hustle. Seen a lot of dodge from Prior Lake, not a lot of off-ball movement and passing. Here's a contested shot, broken up. Ground ball Edina, they have possession back. Leading by a goal, maybe a fast break chance. Prior Lake gets back. Possession right now for the Hornets more important than a risky shot. They get it to Brinkman. They can play a keep away a little bit. Only a 1-goal lead, but time's on their side right now anyway. 2 guarding Brinkman. Someone's open. They try to rotate it around. Swenson. Now Brinkman looking for a small crease. Sends it behind the net. Peterson on the dodge. Draws an extra defender, fires, and misses wide. DeVoe is there to keep possession. Approaching the 7-minute mark remaining. DeVoe lost it. Vitters had a chance at it. DeVoe picks it back up, stayed out of that crease. That shot misses wide, taken by Brinkman. Important stop here for Prior Lake. Multiple goal deficits are tough at this stage. Peterson being harassed, jumps out of trouble, finds a teammate. Back out to Nelson. Now Swenson. Bad pass. We'll see how far this rolls out. Not going to be far enough for Prior Lake. Nelson saves the possession. Again, this possession, 90 seconds plus. So if Prior Lake, you may only get 3-4 more chances offensively the rest of this game. Brinkman thought about a left-handed try. And a crease violation. This will give it back to Prior Lake. So they catch a break. Vitters under pressure. Got rid of it. Here's a long pass, intercepted. Not a good decision for the Lakers. Fast break, chance, Edina! Shot was partially blocked. And now the Lakers up ahead. Play opening up a bit. Midway through the fourth quarter. So another possession for Prior Lake, trailing by 1. You'd like to think Simonson here, you want to get it to him if you're the Lakers at some point. Dodge, an attempt by Spread, they score! We'll check it, I think it was Spratt. Clutch goal for Prior Lake with 5 minutes to play. And it was Spratt with his second of the game. We have our water break timeout. 5:01 left. That'll set up the remaining drama as we're tied at 6 goals apiece. Another comeback in progress for Prior Lake. They trailed in the girls' game by 3. Late in the first half, they came back to win. Boys here trailed by 3 in this quarter. In the third quarter, they've scored the last 3. And the 6-6 tie. Now Edina on the back pedal a little bit in terms of momentum. Although they will get a great chance to get possession back. Gustafson's been so dominant on face-offs here in this one. Winner goes to the state tournament next week. Edina's never won the state title. Prior Lake's won 3 out of the last 4, but it's a strong senior class for Edina. A little bit of a younger group, especially the key contributors for Prior Lake. Especially on offense, you got Bush, Dufert, Simonson. All juniors, along with Spratt and Luthner. Goaltender Vitters as well. Much more senior-led team. Well, we haven't heard a lot in a while. Fans really getting involved in the game. Large crowd here at Edina. Coolman Stadium's into this one. And why wouldn't you be? A lot here on the line and a great finish upcoming. Could potentially be some bonus lacrosse too if the score doesn't change. Gustafson wins another draw. Edina possession, under 5 to go in a 6-6 game. You get it to their leading scorer, Drew Hatch. It's kind of been a quiet night for Hatch. Chance to make some noise here late. These situations so precious for both teams. You don't want to make a mistake. You want to make good decisions, but the challenge is always to stay being aggressive, because that's a critical component as well. Brinkman hangs on to it as we near the 4-minute mark. Looking for some help. Finds DeVoe. Back to Brinkman, has some space behind the net. Ground ball forced. And a whistle. Foul on Prior Lake. So Edina's already milked a minute off this clock. Remember that faceoff came with 5:01 left. They still have it with under 4 to go. Nelson. DeVoe trying to get out front. Sends it over to Hatch. Can't quite get to that left-handed shot. Now he has an angle! And it was blocked. Ground ball, Prior Lake. A chance for the lead. Big defensive stop there for the Lakers. They got it to Hatch. Prior Lake converged. And now we'll see how patient the Lakers are on this trip. Final 3 minutes, at least in regulation here, from Coolman Stadium. Communication critical here too, especially defensively. Carnevale dodge. Yeah, back to his left, sends it to the wing. Back to Carnevale, bobbled it, picks it up, now under pressure, and flings it out of there. 2.5 minutes to play. Prior Lake also has a timeout left. If they get in a sticky situation, you could see Coach Methune use it. Tough catch here. Prior Lake doing enough. Edina, you also don't want to make a mistake over contesting a pass, leaving someone behind you. Now we're under 2 minutes to go. You could see Prior Lake hang on to this one. Here's another bobble. Now a ground ball up for grabs. We have a whistle. Big call here, and it's against Edina. Prior Lake will keep it. 90 seconds left. Pretty much in a golden goal situation. Here's a pass off target. Smith frantically trying to hold. Edina chance on the ground ball, picked up by Prior Lake. My goodness. Smith gets it out of there with 1:15. At the wing, a shot! Score! Looked like Anderson got a piece of it, but not enough. Prior Lake has come from 3 back. A late go-ahead goal and just 62 seconds left for Edina to change it. Oh, they're going to wave it off. They're going to wave it off, apparently. Oh, hang on. And now they're going to count it. This is getting interesting. Casey Methune, I think, was about to blow a gasket over there on the Prior Lake sideline. My goodness. I think it was Jack Smith with the go-ahead goal, his second of this game. It was. Mickett with the assist. Prior Lake was down 6-3 late in the third. Remember that turnover and the fast break goal? That changed everything for the Lakers. Now a minute 2 away. The girls came back and beat Edina. The boys trying to do the same thing. Gustafson, a critical face-off win for Edina, now under a minute. And timeout, the last timeout for Andy Lee, taken here with 49.9 remaining. And a chance to set up the final offensive strategy. So he got the face-off win. He was probably half expecting, with Gustafson in there, and certainly hoping for. Edina gets it into the offensive zone. Final timeout for the Hornets. What a comeback by Prior Lake. We mentioned it, they were down 6-3 with under 2 minutes left in the third. Meaning under 15 minutes left in regulation, essentially. Edina had that turnover. Prior Lake turned it into a fast break goal. They scored right before the end of the quarter to make it a 1-goal game just like that. And they've scored the only 2 here in the fourth quarter. Remember in that girls matchup, Edina was held scoreless for the last 19 minutes of the second half, and the boys are right in the same script here. See, Edina hasn't scored since about midway through the third quarter. That goes back 18, 19 minutes. Prior Lake fans in front of us up and making some noise. Edina fans ready to erupt. Then get some late dramatics. Just great to have a great crowd and a great finish back here at a live sporting event. These fans have been treated to quite the doubleheader here tonight. Edina possession, not a lot of time, 49-9. It's DeVoe. And we get a moving screen, I believe, on Edina. Prior Lake has possession, and now the Hornets are going to have to try to get it back quickly. Dangerous pass across the middle of the field, but it was on target. And now half a minute remaining. Timeout Prior Lake. They needed to get it across midfield quickly. The timeout will help reset things, so to speak. Prior Lake over there celebrating. Their job's not done. There's still 28.1 seconds left. A big stop there for the Lakers. Reminder, section runner-up and championship ceremony coming up at the conclusion of this one, so stick around. Terrific season for both these teams. One of them is about to end, perhaps. Edina certainly playing with desperation right now, not only needing to get possession back somehow, but trying to find a goal all in the last 28 seconds. You've seen that winning cults up and cheering. What a reversal. And for the first time in a while, these players know these fans can make a difference in this game. They're getting them up and energized. We've been missing that for live sports now for over a year. 4 minutes on the clock. Again, first goal wins, but they'll trade sides if no one scores in the first 4 minutes. They'll put another 4 up on the board. Hope you've enjoyed this one as much as we've enjoyed bringing it to you. What a great game here. These two teams, as we said earlier, both worthy of being in the state tournament, but only one will get a chance to, and it's the team that scores next. Can Parker Hill somehow win a face-off away from Charlie Gustafson? We're about to find out. He might. He did. Prior Lake first possession. And they will use a timeout. I believe each team gets one timeout here in overtime, and didn't take long for Casey Methune to use it. How big was that? We talked about Prior Lake responding just before overtime. That was certainly a huge play. Gustafson has been so dominant face-offs tonight for Edina. I believe that's just the third win, and one was by a foul. So the Lakers will get first crack at it here in OT. Neither team played an overtime game this year. I mentioned they did play each other to a one-goal game. Edina won that one 10-9 in regulation. First overtime of the year for both teams with everything at stake. So the defending champs all of a sudden being put to the test. It looked like they were going to advance before that dramatic Edina goal. They do have first crack at it offensively after winning that faceoff. Edina's done such a great job on Simonson tonight. Prior Lake's had to look to other places. An errant pass. Turned over, then Prior Lake gets it back. Another ground ball forced. This one picked up by the Hornets. Trying to get it out of there. Brian Post, he does. Here's Anderson way out of his net again. Gets this one ahead. The Hornets now a chance to win it. And they will use their timeout. So a second turnover for Prior Lake, one in their defensive end just before the end of regulation, and then one there offensively. Certainly some tired legs. They've been out here for 2 hours in 90-degree heat. They've had a fair number of water breaks, one per quarter actually, which is even more than we got in the girls' game, but still, it's a lot of work for a lot of time here in some pretty high degree heat. But now it's Edina. After they force the turnover, they have it. Such a large senior class for the Hornets. They've never won a state title. group has a chance to get one more goal that would get them to that state tournament. Certainly this offensive group in particular, so heavily senior dominated. Outside really of Brinkman. All 12th graders out there for the Hornets. So no more timeouts the rest of overtime. There's a ground ball forced. As they battle for it on the far side, still up for grabs. It'll go out of play to Prior Lake. So both teams turn it over on their first possession. Vitters, that was almost intercepted by DeVoe. Wouldn't that have been something? Here's another bad pass. Prior Lake able to get to this one. Could be an opening on a scramble situation. They'll back it out instead. 2:35 left in the first overtime. Long dodge attempt. Open space shot! Misses wide. Prior Lake keeps. Great dodge. Again, we're having difficulty with these dark Prior Lake numbers. Almost impossible to see. Got a good look there. Behind the net, a ground ball. Prior Lake has it. Final 2 minutes, halfway through the first overtime. In this next goal win situation, that shot misses well wide. But again, not a penalty there in terms of you get to keep possession. Prior Lake saw that they had clearly going to be the closest player to where that shot was headed. So not a big risk at all. Here's a dodge out front. Waiting to make the move, they score! Prior Lake headed to the state tournament. They have a chance to make it 4 state titles in the last 5 years. They gave up the lead right at the end of regulation, but got the game winner in overtime, and who else? Their leading goal scorer, Justin Simonson, got it done. This might be the first field rushing we've had in quite a while. Great to see the energy of the fans. A terrific game here from Coolman Stadium in Edina, and a terrific season for the Edina Hornets. They were able to get a clutch one to tie it up late, but Justin Simonson in OT scores his 35th goal of the year, and Prior Lake upsets Edina both on the girls' side and on the boys' side tonight. This one in much more dramatic fashion. 8-7 is the final. Prior Lake now moves to 13-3. Edina also with the loss falls to 13-3. We'll keep it live here for the trophy presentations here in Section 6. So stick around for that. I will sign off, though. What a great doubleheader from Coolman Stadium. Our final, once again, Prior Lake 8, Edina 7. Hope you've enjoyed this one here from Coolman Stadium in Edina.
expected. I knew all four teams were great. I know. That was. All right. It's fine. Okay. All right, we'll see. I wasn't sure. Oh. Probably a good decision. All right.
Nice job, buddy.
See you guys later.
The awards for tonight's Section 6 championship game will be presented by Troy Stein, the Assistant Principal and Activities Director from Edina, and Beth Fuller, the Activities Director from Prior Lake. They will be assisted by Section Tournament Manager Matt Percival. And now the Section 6 runner-up trophy and individual medals will be awarded to Edina High School. Individual medals in numerical order, starting with number 1, Channing Schmidt. Number 2, Trevor Olson. Number 3, Gage Reiner. Number 4, Charlie Gustafson. Number 5, Sawyer Anderson. Number 6, Brian Post. Number 7, Brayden Simpson. Number 8, Thomas Knapp. Number 9, Brennan Wirtz. Number 10, Finn Deckheimer. Number 12, Owen McAllister. Number 14, McCoy Delaney. Number 16, Andrew Post. Number 18, Tyler Davis. Number 19, Ian Paulus. Number 20, Cole Brazel. Number 21, Charlie Brinkman. Number 22, Casey Stagberg. Number 23, Owen Swenson. Number 24, Max Nelson. Number 25, Andrew Baumgartner. Number 26, Quinn Peterson. Number 27, Johnny Duveau. And number 29, Drew Hatch. The student managers are Ellie Krumpmauer and Aubrey Northrop. We'd like to acknowledge the coaches. The assistants are Franny Maiden and Derek Lloyd, and the head coach is Andy Lee. Now the captains from Edina High School, please come forward and accept the second place trophy. Congratulations on an outstanding season. Now let's meet the section champion, Prior Lake Lakers. Number 1, Ellie Herman. Number 2, Cooper Bush. Number 3, Ty Sandell. Number 4, Eric Dewiford. Number 5, Justin Simonson. Number 6, Parker Hill. Number 8, Dylan Myers. Number 11, Jack Smith. Number 12, Braden Buckingham. Number 14, Jack Gilbert. Number 15, Ben Pickett. Number 18, Dylan Spratt. Number 19, Sam Luthner. Number 20, Jack Takal. Number 21, Keaton Sawyer. Number 22, Matthew Calvert. Number 39, Joe Carnival. Number 40, Marcus Langman. Number 40 as well, Brock Cartwright. Number 41, Gavin Swell. Number 42, Connor Walters. Number 52, Ryan Bitter. Number 54, Jack Neiman. Number 55, Eric Orham. Your student manager is Keller Gonya. The assistants are Sam Kepner, Kyle Kostler, and the head coach is Casey Nahan. Now, will the captains of Prior Lake please come forward and accept the section championship trophy. The Prior Lake Lakers will be moving on to the state quarterfinal tournament next week at Stillwater High School. Bracket and ticket info will be announced on the Minnesota State High School League website. Good luck!